kind of a throwback to summer. Hey friends, I hope that your week is off to a great start. Today I'm testing out a simple 5-ingredient recipe from Bon Appétit. The flavor sounds like something straight out of summer. So since it's the middle of winter in New York, I am really excited to have something a little bit brighter and a little bit fresher tasting. This is my first time making it, and I do these recipe tests every Wednesday. So if you find this one useful, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and click subscribe. All right, without any further ado, let's see how this goes. Off to a rough start already. The recipe said to use a vegetable peeler to remove the zest. However, for the life of me, I could not get this to work. It felt like I was living an infomercial. So just use your chef's knife. You're gonna have it out anyways. You need to cut off two 2-inch long strips of zest, and then we're just thinly slicing this and saving this until the very end. This is just for garnish. Next, we're just removing the remaining zest from the lemon using a microplane. So if you don't have a microplane, you could use the finest setting on your box grater. So we're using the entire lemon for this recipe. We're also going to squeeze the juice here. We need 2 tablespoons total. And don't do what I'm doing here. You want to save this lemon juice for the very end. So next, we're just adding the heavy cream to the pan and then taking this over to the stove. So we're going to multitask a little bit with this recipe here, making the sauce and the pasta at the same time. Refer to your package directions for cook time on the pasta. The sauce takes about 10 minutes to make, so do the math for yourself and figure out how to have the sauce finish about the same time as the pasta. So you're just going to add the butter 1 tablespoon at a time, whisking pretty continuously. You want to make sure that you're agitating the sauce and really getting that butter emulsified into the cream and the lemon. So once 1 tablespoon is melted, you can just go ahead and add the next one. If your sauce finishes before the pasta is done, that's okay. Just turn the heat off and let it hang out until you're ready for it. And my sauce is finished, so I'm just letting it hang out while I check the pasta. My pasta is not quite done, so I'm letting it go just another minute. Right before the pasta is finished cooking, you want to reserve 1.5 cups of the starchy pasta water. The recipe said to start by adding 3/4 cup of the water into your cream mixture and then transfer the noodles into the pan. So it's okay if additional pasta water stays on the noodles as you're doing the transfer. That won't mess up the recipe at all. Once you get all the noodles into the pan, you can gradually start adding your cheese. You don't want to do this all at one time because if you dump all the Parmesan in at once, you're likely to get kind of Parmesan pockets where the cheese isn't fully melting, and you'll have kind of a dry spot that's not fully incorporated. So add a little pinch of cheese, mix it around with the tongs, a little more cheese, mix it around, and then you can add pasta water as needed to continue to thin the mixture out and make it saucy rather than kind of thick and clumpy. When adding the water, add a little bit more than you think you need. I stopped when I thought I was perfect, but as the sauce cooled off, it got really, really thick. And you can see in my finished presentation, there's virtually no kind of loose sauce in the bowl. It's just purely coating the noodles. And then the final step here is just salt and pepper to taste and garnishing with the strips of lemon zest that we prepped earlier. So the pasta is all done, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to give this a quick taste. Let's see. Nice and bright, very citrusy. The sauce is really thick and creamy. I really like the consistency. It's really thick and kind of luxurious. I'm wondering how this will be once it cools down a little bit more. Hope it doesn't tighten up too much, but I mean, it's got a really, really nice texture. Really nice and flavorful, kind of exactly what I wanted from a citrus standpoint. Feels really bright and fresh, so I like it. So overall, I'm really happy with how this pasta turned out. The bright, fresh citrus flavor was a really nice complement to the kind of rich and heavy, creamy, buttery sauce. So all in all, just a really nice kind of full, well-rounded eating experience with great flavor and texture. I'll definitely make this again, and with only 5 ingredients, it's super low risk, so I'd recommend that you give it a try as well. When you make this, please be sure to tag me in your post on Instagram. I would love to see how this worked out for you. And if you found this recipe test useful, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and click subscribe because I release new Bon Appetit recipe tests every Wednesday. See you next week.